Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Against the Odds. So last week we didn't have an Against Odds poll, and that's because I wanted to do a special episode built around one of my favorite cards from Ixalan. This week we're heading to Modern to play a Field of Ruin deck. I'm calling this one Swords and Strip Mines. Basically, with Field of Ruin alongside Ghost Quarter, we now have 8 potential strip mines in Modern if we do a little bit of work to build around them. So our plan today, head to Modern and just make our opponents absolutely miserable by blowing up all their lands, and if that doesn't make them miserable enough, tutor up some really sweet swords to give our creatures protection from their colors and take over the game. Basically, I feel like we've been a bit too nice lately on Against the Odds. We've had some sweet decks, but they just haven't been mean enough. So this week, we're going to try to make up for that and be as mean as possible, keep our opponents from playing Magic. So a quick reminder before we break down Swords and Strip Mines for Modern. If you enjoy this deck and you enjoy Against the Odds in general, it would be spectacular of you if you could take a quick second, click that subscribe button down in the corner of your screen. It's a great way to support the channel and the site for free. So let's talk Swords and Strip Mines, and as I mentioned, kind of the focal point of this deck, the reason I wanted to build this deck is Field of Ruin. So Field of Ruin lets us destroy a non-basic land for 2 mana. Our opponent normally gets to tutor up a basic land, but our deck is designed to minimize their odds of being able to do that. Basically, we're trying to turn Field of Ruin into a strip mine, and with Field of Ruin and also Ghost Quarter, which hits any land for free, we now have 8 of these in our deck, which means it's really likely we're going to have at least one in our opening hand, and then, with some help of a couple of creatures, we just start strip mining our opponent over and over again. So, strip mine enabler number 1, Leonin Arbiter, makes it so people can't search their libraries unless they pay 2, which means if we catch our opponent when they are tapped out, Ghost Quarter, strip mine. Field of Ruin, strip mine. Even Mind Sensor, a little bit different because it's not a hard lock like Leonin Arbiter. When we strip mine our opponent with Field of Ruin or Ghost Quarter, our opponent still gets to search for that basic land. They just only get to search in the top 4 cards of their library instead of searching through their entire library, which means a lot of decks are going to whiff because decks don't play that many basics. So it's unlucky of us in most matchups if our opponent actually gets a land when we Field of Ruin or Ghost Quarter / strip mine them. So that's kind of package 1 of the deck, is to play our Arbiters, play our even Mind Sensors, blow up our opponent's land as much as possible. The next piece of the puzzle is being able to get back our lands from the graveyard. Strip Mine's fine on its own, but what we really want to be doing is Ghost Quartering and Field of Ruining every single turn with an Arbiter or Mind Sensor out. So for this, we use Crucible of Worlds. So you're probably thinking, Crucible of Worlds, really powerful, 3-mana artifact, lets you play lands from your graveyard, but if it's really that important to the deck, why are we only playing it as a 1-of? This is a card we really want, and that's because Crucible kind of leads us into the second part of our deck, which is Trophy Mage. So Trophy Mage lets us play just a single Crucible of Worlds, but have our Crucible of Worlds almost every single game, because we just Trophy Mage, search it up, play Crucible of Worlds. Works out really well, lets us keep getting back our Field of Ruins, keep getting back our Ghost Quarters, strip mining our opponent until they just have nothing left as far as resources on the battlefield. The upside of Trophy Mage is it's not only a Crucible of Worlds when we want it to be, it also can be a sword when we want it to be. So as we are strip mining our opponent to close out the game a little bit faster and also give our stuff protection from our opponent's colors, we have 3 different swords we can tutor up. Sword of Feast and Famine, protection green and black, great against decks like Jund, very good against Death Shadow decks because a lot of the removal can't hurt our stuff. Pumps our creature a little bit, lets us untap our lands, which can be relevant. Even Mind Sensor, for example, has Flash, so we can tap our lands, flash in Mind Sensor, untap our lands, still have our mana up. Also the ability to make our opponent discard. Fire and Ice might be the most powerful of the swords. Lets us draw a card, lets us kill a creature. Against decks like Mono Red or Mono Blue Merfolk, really hard for opponents to interact with. And then Light and Shadow, protection from Fatal Push and Path to Exile, black and white. Plus, lets us get creatures back from the graveyard when they die. We have a couple of creatures that can sacrifice themselves and keep getting them back. Also gains us a bit of life, which is relevant in aggro matchups. So once we use our Trophy Mage to tutor apart Crucible of Worlds, we can use future Trophy Mages to tutor up whichever sword is best for the given matchup. So really powerful compared to playing like 4 copies of Crucible of Worlds, which are kind of redundant. The second one doesn't do any more than the first. Play a bunch of Trophy Mages, still have a bunch of copies of Crucible, and all these other powerful 3-mana artifacts as well. Speaking of powerful 3-mana artifacts, the last Trophy Mage target is Etch Champion, which is mostly for our sword. So while we don't have a ton of artifacts, we're not Affinity or anything like that, if we like Trophy Mage, tutor up Crucible of Worlds, maybe we naturally draw swords, as the game goes along we can tutor up an Etch Champion, gonna have protection from all colors. That is a scary creature, especially wearing a sword. Opponent's not gonna be able to block it, not gonna be able to interact with it. We're getting all the sword triggers every single turn, so really awesome one of Trophy Mage target if we can get enough artifacts on the battlefield. Speaking of artifacts, the other key artifact in the deck is Aether Vial. So not only does this pump our Etch Champion, help give it protection, which is nice, the big deal here is it lets us play our Aven Mind Sensors and our Leonin Arbiters without using actual mana. So what we want to be doing is like playing Aether Vial on turn 1, hopefully off a Ghost Quarter mana, and then just playing Ghost Quarters, playing Field of Ruins, and then we get to like turn 3, we can just Aether Vial in our Leonin Arbiter, hopefully while our opponent's tapped out, and use all those Ghost Quarters to just strip mine, strip mine, strip mine, blow up all our opponent's land. So Aether Vial is a key piece to the strip mine puzzle because it lets us play our strip mine enabling creatures and still leave our strip mines untapped on the same turn. The rest of the deck, we had a bunch of ways to just kind of protect our stuff and disrupt our opponent. Judge is familiar, can save our Arbiters and our Aven Mind Sensors from a targeted removal spell, slows down combo. Thalia, very good at slowing down decks like Storm that are trying to combo off with spells. One Meddling Mage, just for value, no real specific target, but you know, you can vial it in on 2, maybe name Ad Nauseam or some other key combo piece. Just a couple of Spell Quellers is our counter spell creature, and remember, all these creatures we can vial into play at instant speed as well. Selfless Spirit, awesome at protecting our creatures, works well with Sword of Light and Shadow. We can sack it, get it back. One Flicker Wisp, just for value, can also be another part of our land taxing plan, so we vial in our Leonin Arbiter, blow up some land with our Ghost Quarters. Next turn we can vial in Flicker Wisp on our opponent's upkeep to blink out a land, kind of putting them down a land. One Kitchen Finks, just to gain life against aggro. For removal, Path to Exile, that's all we got going as far as removal. Hopefully against most decks we can kind of just like keep them off of doing anything too powerful anyway with our Strip Mines and Swords. Mana base, we talked about the Field of Ruins, talked about the Ghost Quarters. The Strip Mines are the reason we're playing to the deck. That's like plan A of the deck, already talked about them. We have some basic lands which are important for our Field of Ruins. Like, if we Field of Ruin our opponent, we would like to be able to search up a basic, so having a few basics is key there. Otherwise, a bunch of dual lands, no fetch lands, which is kind of weird. So there's this real weird tension in building this deck. Fetch lands are awesome with Crucible of Worlds, because we can keep getting them back from our graveyard over and over again. On the other hand, fetch lands are awful with Leonin Arbiter, because we can lock ourselves under our own Arbiter that's symmetrical, have to pay mana to crack a fetch land. So I decided to just not play the fetch lands at all whatsoever. I don't know. Worst case, we can always go really deep with our Ghost Quarters and like a Ghost Quarter ourselves to get a land with Crucible out, replay the Ghost Quarter and the land we killed from our graveyard. So we can still kind of do the weird deck thinning thing just in a roundabout Ghost Quarter-y way. Sideboard-wise, a bunch more creatures. We've seen Spell Queller, Kitchen Finks, Meddling Mage. Mirror Crusader can be especially scary with swords, since it already has protection from 2 colors if you put like a Sword of Fire and Ice on it. It's got protection from everything but white, which is really powerful in a lot of matchups. Fatal Push, Lightning Bolt, lots of things can't kill Mirror Crusader. Also doubles up the sword trigger, so really good in some matchups. Then we have a bunch of combo protection. Leyline to protect our hand against discard, to protect ourselves from getting burnt out or combo killed. Rest in Peace for graveyard decks. Negate, also primarily for combo. One Quicksilver Fountain. Finally, just a bit of removal. Ratchet Bomb can blow up a board full of tokens or hit non-creature permanents. And Blessed Alliance, kind of double duty, can gain us some life, get rid of an attacking creature from a deck like Boggles, a deck like Infect, which show up every now and then, but just to kind of all-purpose value. And that's Sword and Strip Mines for Modern, and that's our Against the Odds deck for this week. So, is this deck going to work? I don't even care. I just want to make our opponents miserable. That's our game plan for this week. We just want to blow up lands. We just want to make it so our opponent doesn't have fun playing Magic against us. And I think our deck's going to do a good job of that. Getting strip mined every turn is one of the most frustrating things in Magic. Plus the protection from the swords, along with our somewhat taxing creatures, Thalias, Judges, Familiars. I feel like we're going to do a good job of making our opponent miserable. Whether or not that miserableness translates into wins, I don't even really care. I just want to make our opponents have no fun. So that's the goal for this week, and I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to achieve it. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. Let's get to the video so you can see how it works. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay videos, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, take a second and click that like button down below. It's a great way to help support the channel for free. And you can find the next video in the playlist right here.